Do 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 do. Matt. Do 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 do.
Ariel.
Welcome back to Homeschool Together.
Bluey.
Welcome back to Homeschool Together. We were in Oceania, also known as Australia, New Zealand, and all the many amazing islands of the Pacific.
AKA an excuse to watch Bluey.
Yes. So our focus, as always, is two things. We try to keep it narrow. We focus on the Great Barrier Reef and the outback. Outback being all the myriad of animals that want to kill you in Australia, and all the other cuddly ones that are really cute. And then also the Great Barrier Reef, which is just an amazing place. So we had a lot of good fun. Let's get into the books.
Yeah.
All right. The inspiration for Hank from Finding Dory, Inky's Amazing Escape. So basically,
This is a true story.
It's a true story about a young.
Because here's Inky right
There's
here.
Inky right there. It's an octopus who was injured, and he was taken to a research observatory. Who then started to figure out, hey, I can get around this place. It's not so scary. And eventually, he climbed into a sink, and he found his way through all the pipes, and found his way back out into the world after he was hurt. So it was a really, really cute story, really fun. My daughter kept asking, "Is this Hank? Is this Hank?" I go, "Yes, it is Hank." Well, we'll just call it. I'm changing his name from Inky to Hank. So it was basically Hank. So it was really, really cool story, really fun. Really great kind of like, tie into the movies, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So
That's right.
Anyway, that one. Koalaloo. Great little story about a young koala who wanted to get his his love from his mother. He didn't realize that he always had his love for his mother, but he felt that he had to accomplish something to get the attention of his mother, because his mother has a lot of other brothers and siblings. So you can kind of like tie that into your own family if you have a lot of kids. So basically, he goes and competes in the Koala Olympics and tries to climb a tree the fastest. Comes in second, but he does find out that his mother does love Koalaloo. So it was a very cute story. Koalas are cuddly. My daughter loved it. She goes, "Wait a minute, is this the guy from Sing?" I go, "Yes, it is the guy from Sing." We're starting to really make connections here. This is wonderful. So Koalaloo, we're doing it good now. All right. So the nonfiction books, I just had them out of order. So we'll do it as a little bit of a break, but basically.
The Living In, the Ready to Read. So if you haven't watched any of our other videos,
Exploring Countries.
These are our favorite. The Ready to Read books are our favorite.
Yep.
Nonfiction about a country and give lots of information about a child's life. Yep. These Exploring Countries blast off readers are a bit better for an older child, like maybe second grade. But they're still really good if you can't find one of the Living In. There's only 30 of these for all the countries of the world. So
insufficient Hobbit talk in this one, so we'll have to make a point of that.
And then we grabbed one of these National Geographic readers are terrific if you can get them on any different subject. This one's on koalas. They've got great.
I think they have one. I think they have a couple.
Pictures.
Yeah, they have a couple on like kangaroos as well, and
so this is a level 1 ready to read. So depending on your child's reading level, they might be able to help out with this one. All level 1s across are not all created equal, but these are really great. They've got great information. So we highly recommend any of the National Geographic readers. We own quite a few of them ourselves.
Absolutely. Now, talking about the great scourge of Australia, you can go read about the Great Emu War in the 30s. But Edward the Emu is a story of this emu who's in a zoo, and he feels so jealous of everybody else. He wants to go into the lion paddock. He wants to go be, a snake. He wants to go and be somebody other than an emu. And then at the very end, he finds out that everybody wants to be him. And so he goes back to his paddock to find that there's a beautiful other emu there for him waiting. It was a surprise, and he falls in love with the other emu. So it's a very cute story.
He's happy to be himself.
And what was cool about it, you could see all the other animals of Australia as it kind of wanders through. So kind of like a zoo format. So kind of fun, really light. Now, this is the high piece of literature that you will want to put in your homeschool box this week. The Diary of a Wombat. Let me read. Dramatic reading. Tuesday. Morning, slept. Afternoon, slept. Evening, ate grass. Night, ate grass. Decided grass was boring. Scratched. Hard to reach, itchy bits. slept. This is the type of stuff you get from this book, and I loved it. It was basically this wombat going through his whole diary of his life, where he discovers the beauty of humans and the lovely, lovely orange carrots that they give him, and how he basically runs roughshod over this family's house and basically forces them to give him all these tasty treats and digs holes in their backyards. It was really funny. I loved it. I found myself really enjoying this book, and my daughter did as well.
Is this the escargot of Australia?
This is the escargot of Australia. If you
didn't get that, that was
go
the
back
France
to France
video.
Go back to France.
Escargot,
You'll
the
see
cheeky snail.
The cheeky snail who just wants a salad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
The light vinaigrette.
light vinaigrette. This is the escargot of Australia. Really great book. I would highly recommend this if you really want to just like get into the story. This is something that really draws you.
This was your favorite, I believe.
That's my. How could you tell? How could you tell? All right. Anyway, now my daughter's favorite is the Splatipus. So if you can imagine the emu story, but with a platypus in the wild, you will know the Splatipus. So basically, Splatipus is jealous, wants to go be friends with everybody else, all these land animals. And every time he tries to be one of these land animals, he splatipusses. And he falls down and tumbles and causes, chaos. Anyway, eventually he gets really sad and he finds the water. And he finds all his aquatic friends and he finds his home in the water, and he becomes the Splatipus and the Splashipus, I think, was towards the end. So it's a really cute story about a platypus, and again, a great little touchstone into finding more information about a really strange animal like the platypus. It's a great, kind of great learning point. So I enjoyed it. My daughter really liked it.
Silly, and it gives a
fun.
Good doorway to learn more about animals.
Absolutely. Now back to the Sing spin-offs. The Koala Who Could.
Basically, such beautiful art.
Great artwork in this one. Really lovely. Basically, it's a koala who's really, really scared of coming down from his tree. And all the animals, and basically it's the whole myriad of Australian animals, are begging him to come down and hang out with them, and he doesn't want to do that. And eventually this really terrible woodpecker comes and breaks his tree in half, and he falls to the ground, and he realizes all along that he did not need to be scared of climbing down his tree. Nice little moral tale of not being fearful of things that are different. Really fun story, and again, another cuddly koala tale. So can't go wrong with that. Next, we have a bunch of chapter readers. We'll talk about.
Yeah, let's talk
do
about
two of these two.
Well, let's talk about this one first. This is Greetings from Somewhere. So if you've seen this in a lot of other countries, it's the homeschool kids. They're traveling around the world with their parents. They always end up solving a mystery. These are really good because they've got all these great pictures every couple of pages. There's always a mystery to solve. This one is
really
about
breezy reads. They're really fast.
Yeah, you can read one in about half an hour. So this one is all about the reef and all about people who are stealing coral.
Yep.
And so, it's about them trying to solve that mystery, and you're learning a lot about Australia in the process. These are all good. Our daughter really enjoys them. They're nothing super abnormally awesome, but they're good. They're good and solid.
They're good because they're so short. It's if you're doing a country or a region for like a week or two, it's not a huge burden to read one of these stories.
You can get them for a few bucks, and they're worth it.
Some of these readers, they could be 200-300 pages, and it might take you multiple days. That's a single sitting.
Yeah.
Race the Wild is probably like a multiple sitting type of book because they're a little bit longer. Again, the concept here is the reef, and they're doing kind of an eco tour through the reef. A little bit longer, not as many pictures. Yeah. On the Greetings from Somewhere, there's basically a picture on every page.
Right. Greetings from Somewhere is great for that K first grade. Race the Wild is better for maybe second to third grade.
Where is the Great Barrier Reef? Now,
so
we've talked about these
who
before.
Is, or where is, or who was, or the Who HQ books. They're really great. They've got good pictures in them, lots of great nonfiction information. These are probably best for 8 and up, I would say. Yeah. Our daughter does get something out of them, but I'm more kind of holding on to this for later. I think it's a good investment to get these. You can usually get them for a couple bucks.
A lot of times these are nibble worthy. Like it's broken up, and so you don't have to read the whole thing.
You could just grab a short bit and read about something, and then use that as a touchstone to get into a video. I really love these, and you can find them often at Book Outlet. Very cheap. I think they only retail for like $5. They're super affordable books, and you can always get them on sale. So
absolutely. So that's that, and
those
then
are good.
Audrey the Outback of the Outback.
Yep. So this is the Build Your Library main book, and I'm gonna confess I have only read half of it. We have to record this video tonight because we don't have time to do it another night, and we're
going on vacation with no children. did you hear the screams and happiness?
Brought to you by grandparents.
Brought to you by grandparents.
So I have not finished this whole thing yet as of tonight when we're reading it. So we've only read half, but it is really good. It's the story about a girl who lives with her family in the outback. And it's a lot about what their life is very rough and kind of what their life is like. And it's very interesting because everything is told from a child's perspective about, we were in a section all about, there's basically kind of drifters that come through that area and they stay and they work for food and then they move on, and you learn bits about their life and about her family, and her father hunts dingoes for the government. So we had to get into a whole why would someone pay them for dingo skins or whatever it was, Yeah. And so there's a lot of touchstone points.
Little dated though, it's older. It's set
it is set in an older time frame.
Not that the book is dated, but it's dated back.
I don't know exactly what year it is set, but it is an older story. And she really enjoyed it. And there's a lot of Australian words and slang in this. So there's a lot that you'll have to look up. But I felt like it was very immersive. So we enjoyed what we read so far, but I confess I did not finish all of it. So.
Australian Anna Green Gables?
But kind of.
Yeah.
But I trust Emily, who made Build Your Library, that I'm sure the rest of it is equally good.
Absolutely. Now let's talk a little bit about movies.
Well, I do want to say, can we say before we start movies, if you'll notice, this is Oceania, and we have not done anything on Polynesia for our books. And that is because there aren't that many books. So you can check out our resource guide that we're going to publish hopefully soon for this area. And you'll be able to see that there's not a lot. Our library, unfortunately, didn't have anything on Polynesia. So we made up for that in the movies.
So Moana, classic.
Yeah, we watched Moana.
Timeless classic. Both children have been grown up on that one.
Yeah, we love Moana.
We did Nemo.
Yep, for the Great Barrier Reef. Why not? That was great.
We also did Back to the Outback.
Yes, so I watched Back to the Outback with girls. It's on Netflix, and it was good. I was a little bit worried after watching Sahara on Netflix, which was not good. See my video on North Africa. So this one was actually really good. It was the story of a bunch of animals that were in kind of a wildlife park type thing, but they were all the dangerous animals, the super venomous snake, the spider, all of these creatures, and they're trying to get back to their home because they're tired of being looked at as being villains, right? Just because that's who they are. And they end up getting tagged up with the world's cuddliest koala. And he ends up they think he has rabies, so that he has to come with them, and so he's outcast from society too. And they're traveling through the cities and then through the countryside, and trying to reach the outback. So it was good. It was nothing to write home about. If you only have time for one movie, I would watch Nemo or Moana or heck, just binge Bluey before watching this. But if you've got time, I thought it was cute. My kids liked it. I didn't find anything in it that I thought was questionable, like Sahara. Yeah. So, I thought it was decent.
Absolutely. Speaking of Bluey, the Bluey Christmas episode, which is...
Yes. We love Bluey, and this was an excuse to just binge Bluey because it's fantastic.
But the Christmas episode is something that we always enjoy watching.
But
even though it's not the holidays right now, and it's... What is kind of January here? It's in June, it rains like it's in January here in the Pacific Northwest, so it's January. But the Christmas episode is really interesting because it's kind of like a juxtaposition of differences with culture.
Right, because they're having it
it's
in
hot
summer.
In summer down there.
They're barbecuing and swimming at Christmas
palm
time.
Trees with
so if you love Bluey like we do, then pick whatever episode's your favorite to watch for Australia. Yeah. But if you haven't seen a lot of Bluey, check it out on Disney Plus, and specifically go to the second season. You can watch the Christmas episode if you really want to show. I think that one is the best one to show the stark difference.
It's very stark.
Between what it's like for that holiday for them and for us. So, but honestly, if you're not watching Bluey, why aren't you watching Bluey? You need to watch Bluey. It's fantastic.
Go watch it. Yeah, we got all the toys.
Fantastic.
We're single-handedly supporting the whole show.
We love
next thing we did is on YouTube. I found a Steve Irwin documentary, about an hour long.
That was crazy.
It was really, really crazy. And he's chasing these 15-foot crocodiles.
He was having everybody sit on the crocodile while he was carefully unwrapping its jaw.
The best part was that he forced his wife to sit on the head of the crocodile alone. It was magnificent. It helped justify
it was crazy.
Getting Ariel to do all the lawn mowing and doing all the hard work, killing the spiders in the corner.
I never killed the spiders.
I know she doesn't.
I don't.
But anyway, we'll make sure to link that as well in the show notes below. That was just on YouTube. We just casted it up on our TV and the kids watched it. They really loved it. our youngest got a little mixed because she didn't really know what was going on, but our oldest was like, this guy is nuts. Like, yes,
what is he doing?
Yes, I know he was a fixture of our youth, and unfortunately he's not a fixture anymore. But you know, she enjoyed that. I think.
Yeah, it was really pretty fascinating, and watching
watching the shorts come full circle. Now the days today, like basketball players are wearing the shorts again.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the Steve Irwin
One
shorts.
of the things is, everybody kind of talks about, Steve Irwin as, he was kind of crazy. He did crazy things. And this video did show that. But it also showed how much compassion he had. This was a crocodile who was attacking boats. And they basically tied him up on the shore. And they did a bunch of training with him with motors and lights and things so that he would learn to not attack boats. So rather than killing him,
because he was overly curious,
right? Yeah. Rather than doing something bad, he totally had so much respect for the animals that he and his team went to all this work to help steer the animal.
I mean, risk their lives.
And risk their lives.
Yeah.
And he was totally like, he doesn't really know that there are boats, and we got to train him that this is, and so they did everything so humanely and so compassionately with respect to the animals and their nature. I think that if you don't watch that video, watch something else even of Steve Irwin, and I think it really comes through that, it's not for us to impose our will on the animal, but to understand their nature and how can we coexist. I thought it was that kind of underlying message was really great about the video. I really enjoyed that.
We did do a little bit of videos as well, just a kind of a YouTube thing. Our youngest is like obsessed with volcanoes and lava and everything. So Vanuatu's got a enormous volcano. It's open caldera, so it's just boiling pit of lava. She loved it. She wanted to watch all the videos about the lava. We forced us to watch the lava video from Disney Plus, that little short. So that unfortunately everybody groaned when we had to do that.
I love you. Ask us how many times
we've heard that. Yeah. Hey Google, play lava song.
I'd love to see the Disney Plus statistics on our account for how many times we.
It's grotesque. It's just like lava song and stuff here. Anyway, there we had that, and also we got into boomerangs. There's a great video.
That was really cool.
On Shadversity, which is kind of like he's an Australian YouTuber who does a lot of fantasy kind of weaponry, and he had a whole thing about throwing sticks and boomerangs and stuff. It was very funny, and it was a wonderful cut to an advertisement in the middle for HelloFresh. It was very funny because we eat HelloFresh as well, and this is not an advertisement for HelloFresh, but if you're listening to HelloFresh, we love HelloFresh. That being said, it was very funny. We had a good laugh, and we went and made. Where's our boomerangs?
Oh yeah, we made foam boomerangs. And
should you run and go get them?
No, because we don't edit these.
We don't edit these.
We don't have time, y'all.
I can stall.
No.
I can tell them funny stories.
No, we're not going to do that.
I can do my Dumb and Dumber joke?
Don't do it. So we made boomerangs out of foam.
Out of cardboard.
Cardboard,
yeah.
And then we covered them with blue painter's tape. They did not fly well.
They did not fly well.
But, the girls enjoyed the whole process of making the boomerangs.
And then they used them as weapons and lightsabers in the back.
Yeah.
So
what else did we watch?
Came full circle.
Oh, this was an excuse to watch all the videos about traveling to Tahiti and Fiji. And our girls were like, why are we watching all these travel videos? And we were like, we don't know.
There's another recommendation maybe for an older student, maybe older learner, is on Amazon Prime. There is a kind of eco challenge.
Eco Challenge Fiji.
And that was really cool, and it got a lot into the culture of Fiji, the history of Fiji, and obviously the environment of Fiji, and it was really, really interesting. I know we watched that with our daughter last year.
Yeah, I think it was PG-13 because there was some language.
And there was one storyline that they just kept milking it, and it was just overly sentimental and everything. So
yeah, but overall, it was really good.
Cool.
It's all these teams, international teams, who are trying to complete a race, and there's all these different legs of the race they have to go through to kind of get to the end. Yeah. And we watched it with our kids, I think, like last year. So we didn't watch it right now for this study, but it was really good. I'll link it in the show notes just because Eco Challenge Fiji was really good. And if you don't have a problem with the language, then you can go ahead and watch it. I don't think there was anything else in it that was inappropriate. It was just the language.
Absolutely. So Oceania, it was a huge region of the world. Really fun stay. We had a great time, and we are heading off to our final stop.
Wow.
We've come full circle.
We have.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah, Antarctica.
Super cold. We'll do the Werner Herzog?
No.
Yes.
We're never doing Werner Herzog.